You didn't sound convinced. Like
Yeah, I remember it, but I was.
This was
never...
huge.
Is it?
This was massive.
I'm
Wasn't
sure
it?
it's. I mean,
It was in my life, I
it
suppose.
must have been big, but it wasn't impressive for me anyway.
What, the video was pretty impressive.
I suppose it must have been for some
maybe
people.
because you were at that age where you were too cool already.
Yes, I was.
Yeah.
We've got to get this sorted out. How old were you then? 95?
I would have been 14.
14. Oh, what was I then?
About 17.
Something like that. Yeah.
I was going older than I thought. You're probably only 2 years.
13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
Which year were you born?
No, I think 17. I'm 77 when you were born.
What? 77?
Yeah,
well, you were like
18.
You were 18.
80. Are you 80?
No, 81.
81. I'm 77.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's 4 years different. So yeah, you were 18.
Shit. Yeah. So
you would have not even noticed this come along.
No. I was like cynical to this.
So when you watch this today, what did you think?
I thought it was shit.
The song or the video or both?
No, the song is shit.
The song's pretty shit,
yeah. But I did note her having a piss in the urinal like a man. That was kind of cool. I think I remember it coming out and thinking just like, yeah, this is like a lame attempt at Michael Jackson to try and get cred by using his sister to sort of make some new headline of brother and sister together against the nasty media world.
Well, I had no idea that Janet Jackson was so big. I never took her as
she wasn't that big.
A huge. No, she was.
I mean, obviously she was quite big, but
no, this surprised me. I didn't understand, and she was pretty big
in terms of sales.
Yeah, in terms of maybe in the US more than here.
It must have been the US thing, I reckon.
Yeah. Because she had like the biggest selling tour or something in like 1990. I'd watched a little bit of a documentary about her today because I wanted to know more about this scream. There's a little clip of her and Michael writing this song and it's just really cute. It's just like them in a bedroom, just kind of like with a laptop, just writing lyrics. And he kind of says something or a line, or she's reading out her lines and she says a swear word and he's like, oh, you can't say that. It's like, Janet, you can't say that. But like, he's being really angry. Like the song is like his angry act, isn't it?
Yeah. But he's like,
fair enough. I mean, he's been shit on from massive height.
Has he? But what, by the media?
By the media, yeah. By the media and by the justice system, I'd say as well, yeah.
Yeah, so you don't rate their
treatment
of
him.
Accusations that he was having.
Well, I don't know, but he definitely wasn't treated well. No. Even if he was guilty, he wasn't treated like someone that was innocent before proven guilty.
True's that. Yeah, and then I think it had been his like over the balcony thing around that time.
Was that around that time?
I don't know exactly whether that was before or after. I just remember Jackson was like something we, as an 18-year-old, didn't.
He was a joke, wasn't he? Yeah,
he was a joke by then. Yeah.
And I know we kind of missed out on all that on all that bad shit that happened. I mean, I remember it happening, and I remember the Martin Bashir interview, and I remember the big scandal, but I don't remember it being like taken that seriously. Maybe because everyone was like, "Oh, it's Michael Jackson. It can't be true." It's just like, it's just it's a big story. Because I suppose there's so many sensational stories about him, like having an oxygen tent, being an alien, all this kind of stuff. So you just kind of thought it's just totally like paedophilia, I suppose. Because I don't think I came across a paedophile when I was a kid. Like Luckily.
Just as well.
Luckily.
Just
but like,
well. Yeah.
The closest I got to was like kind of older teenagers trying to fuck the schoolgirls, that were kind of 15 maybe, and the older people were about 20, and they'd come down their cars outside school.
Yeah.
But not the kind of pedophilia that Jackson was, being accused of.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I still probably had reserved judgment because I probably still had the love for MJ from back in the 80s.
I just thought that nothing was real. I just thought that nothing was real. It's just he lives on a different planet, and everything's completely different. It doesn't. It didn't even make sense. I don't think it even made sense.
It didn't make any sense. But all I knew was that I couldn't be asked with it.
So do you think that bringing Janet in was to kind of shift the focus a little bit?
Yes, definitely, and to prove that he was like human, because he had a sister who was willing to kind of
a family
do
man
something with him. Yeah,
and to show support.
Yeah,
which she was doing. She said this in this documentary. She was, she was doing whatever she could to help him because he was in a really tight spot.
Yeah, right, and that was why they did the song.
Yeah, and also she brought her producers to work with him because I don't know if he kind of got what's it called? Blackballed? No, blacklisted.
Blacklisted
with some of the music people, possibly. So maybe he was a bit lost for who to kind of work with.
And was this after his Earth song, Black or White?
No, this is the same time. This is all the same recording session time. Yeah. So this is the history album.
It's on the history album, is it? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Was Quincy not involved then in the history album? Probably not.
No. Quincy. Was Quincy involved? Was he involved in Bad? I don't think he was involved in Dangerous. I don't think he was involved in. Maybe he was. I don't know. But he, by this time, it had been about. He'd had about 3 years of this court case and subsequent court cases and civil action suits and all this kind of stuff. But at this time, did you know before this? I found this out today. I couldn't believe it. He was he was working with the people because he loved computer games, and he was working with the Sega people, who were making Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and he was writing music to go on Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and some of the music got through, even though they cut all ties as when all this shit came out. They cut all ties, like Pepsi cut ties, like because he was sponsored by Pepsi for about 10 years, big sponsorship. So they all cut their sponsorship. So Sega pulled out as well, but the people let some of his stuff, like his melodies and stuff, slip through and get onto the game. And because there was this guy, apparently he kind of brought this up. He was like a gamer, and he was like, there's something about this song that sounds so much like Stranger in Moscow. There's a song called Stranger in Moscow on the History album. Yeah, it's like this it's exactly the same chord changes. It just sounds like a kind of 16-bit version.
Yeah.
And he kind of led this kind of troupe of Sonic the Hedgehog heads online. And this is like in the 90s, so it was like probably a little bit trickier to kind of get these people together. Yeah. And kind of trying to investigate and find all the people that were kind of involved in making the game. And it was denied, and no one was talking for years because all this stuff was going on. But now people have admitted and said, yeah, he was writing music for the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 game, and some of it is in there.
So go back to the Scream song itself, like how's it sort of rank for you in kind of like dynamic of the two singers together? Kind of.
Well, they both kind of sing the same, don't they?
Yeah, they're both kind of just like screaming or just like going.
It's almost like one voice split between two people. It's not as a duet. Yeah. It's not really cutting the mustard, is it? Really,
it's not cutting the mustard, and it's quite odd with the dancing. They do the same dance, and they're wearing the same stuff, and they're like obviously brother and sister.
Well, I think they might be playing up to that, playing up to kind of a weird, because they're like on a spaceship and it's all meant to be a bit kind of oddball, maybe playing up to the kind of oxygen tent kind of stuff that he was like, he'd like to kind of fuel that fire a little bit, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it sort of like almost does what duets can do sometimes, which is just like take the meat out of both performers and just like leave you with nothing.
Yeah, it's I think the song is just not very hooky or anything, is it?
I mean, no, and it's like if it was just Michael Jackson, I think it would be more memorable, or just Janet Jackson even. But somehow together, they just kind of cancel each other out almost.
No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, having them both there is quite memorable, I'd say.
Really?
Yeah, for me, yeah.
Okay, well. I mean, I did remember it, so
only just.
That's something. I mean, no, I definitely remembered it. But I didn't like it.
But that was another lead single. Wow. So that's two lead singles that have been duets for Jacko.
That both of them didn't really do much. They did to you.
I think Scream. Yeah. I think Scream. Well, the only thing that Scream got kind of applauded for was the video. I don't think people really got the song. I think it's too kind of straightforward, isn't it? There's a little bit of melody, but not hardly anything, is there? Nothing to really sing along to.
That's the thing. It's one of those.
It's more about like anger and just like production of drums, just like percussion, percussive sounds, like.
Yeah, and that's sort of like something weird that he sort of went down that route more often.
The intro is like really electronic, kind of glitchy strangeness, isn't it? At the very beginning, it's like
yeah, but it's sort of like gimmicky electronica kind of thing. Doesn't sort of, it's not part of the hook.
No,
and that's the problem.
Never develops. Yeah,
no, it's just a lot. Yeah. So thumbs down from me, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
It takes us somewhere, I'm imagining. Where does it take us from?